Hello and welcome to episode 6 of Where's Wub with Mitchell Cimino, myself, Ryan Levine, Calvin Harrigal, aka Wub, and Travis Tangeman. And today we will be going over some Turtles cards. I think, did we get all the Street Fighter cards yet? We'll go over reveals. We're going to talk about Louisville and yeah, I guess that. We also have an announcement about some card reveals going up soon. I think, Mitch, do you know what days that will? There'll be some on this channel. Do you know what day that will be?
Yeah, they're on the MGLA channel. If I can find enough adjectives and adverbs to vamp while I scroll through the MGLA content channel, to where I
It's
was told
it's
the day.
definitely posted in the announcements page on the universe's Discord. So
And I
check
definitely
that
am
if
in the
you
universe's Discord. That's a
yeah.
thing. True.
Yes, I agree. I
July
actively
11th,
partake.
Friday of that week, it turns out.
Huh?
So, it's the Friday of this week, July 11th. I was told by Dean to say, quote, be on the lookout for this Friday. So be on the lookout for this Friday.
All right.
The MPLA channel review or previews rather, and then I think you have some previews as well for.
Yes, and then there will be some going up on my main channel, which maybe a link to that will be in the description or not. It depends on if we put it there. But it's I have the all symbol commons and uncommons, and
Champion of the all symbol, Ryan Levine.
yeah. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say what symbol it was as I'm looking at this thing. Oh well. It's
Well,
probably
it's not like you
fine.
said what the cards are. It's
Yeah,
fine.
it's fine.
Yeah, true.
It's
Spoiler: the all symbols
the
in this
all
set.
symbol.
What? Yes.
I'll have some
What?
cards from the commons and uncommons.
All symbol jump
And
scares.
then yeah, on this channel there will be a different symbol. I actually came to look to see what symbol will be posted here, but it's not on the website. So whatever
And that was
symbol it
what
ends
led you
up
to believe you
whatever
weren't supposed to say it.
yeah, it's probably fine.
Whatever.
Whatever.
It's chill.
I'm
Don't
not
worry.
gonna I'm not gonna edit this, so it's okay.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
so
I mean,
let's
not editing it
just
last time was what made it almost come out not tomorrow, so
yeah,
it's fine.
yeah. All right. So what is the first I guess let's talk about some Turtles cards, right? Like we saw some
Yeah,
characters.
I think the Turtles cards that were out when we recorded the last episode are literally all just posted as pictures, like above us in the general chat. So like we didn't have any of their characters. We had a
Yeah.
couple of their
Yeah.
assets
It
and
was just
stuff.
the
So we can
yeah,
just
it
talk
was
about.
just a couple of commons, but we have a couple
Yeah,
of
we can talk about all the
characters
characters.
which like I don't think any of them so far have been particularly inspiring. Um yeah, I mean, I guess
Not really.
Wingnut
The
is
only
Hawks
good part about him is
adjacent,
the symbol. Haha.
but yeah, I don't care, I guess. Like
Yeah,
when Hawks rotates, I'm not playing this character. So
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
yeah,
she is no Hawks replacement, and I did
no.
say she as verified by Turtlepedia.
It's
Yes.
wild, dude.
Did you research?
Yeah.
Yes,
Um
I have to. We are nothing if not prepared.
yeah.
Correct.
So I guess something I do want to like talk about a little bit is because it's hard to evaluate the characters when we haven't seen their full kits, but Bebop and Rocksteady both have a add top of card to your own card pool and like add top card of your deck to your own card pool like gimmick, I guess, to do their effects.
Mhm.
And I know we've seen this be I almost said successful, but I don't think that's true. We've seen this be almost successful with
Mhm.
Mina in the past. And by almost successful, I mean I think Mina got new support cards like 6 times and on multiple occasions was the most played deck at a regional and still didn't do well. And
Yes.
that was when at one point you had a billion support cards and your static on face was face downs don't count towards progressive.
Yeah.
I really cannot even fathom what cards it would take for these cards to be successful if Mina couldn't get it done after
So
7 tries.
this
If
might
you
this
could
might be
go,
me
okay, go ahead.
specifically. Sorry, yeah, this might be me specifically like playing the man, but like J Ray really likes Karama, and Kurama at the very least has water. So there's got to be at least one good card that cares about cards in card pools
Well, not your
or like
own
stuffing
card
face
pool.
downs. No, I know, but like
That's
I'm sure
like-
there'll be one that like they print that's like quote unquote for Bebop and Rocksteady that might slip in and be like, this is actually Kurama support. J-Ray gotcha.
Oh, okay. I mean, sure, but that's not what I was talking about. But,
I'm providing you.
maybe.
Okay. If you
Oh,
go
for like
back
stuff
far
of your
enough,
own. Sure.
yeah. If you go back far enough, this is your answer. This is what it took. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
this
post
guy,
Akuma. Yeah.
Akuma too. Okay.
this is what was necessary.
Okay.
This guy had multiple attacks that have the Mina static on them.
Okay.
He said add a top, so like stuff your own card pool for a damage for each card in your card pool.
Yeah.
And also, you can't ever block trick this guy because if you block with an on foundation, he can flip the attack. Tell your opponent their check is -2.
Yeah.
Hmm,
So
okay.
and also,
So
It-
then
it took-
the attacks
it
don't
took
count towards
that.
progressive anymore either.
I
it took
see.
that plus this. It took that plus this. It was not. It was not just.
That is a
it-
tiny picture, but
yeah. It is.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
tiny.
You've
One
printed
sec.
the smallest picture of.
Admission
This
fee.
better?
I'll read this one.
Yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
I'll read it. Admission fee.
Dude, look,
Oh,
Ryan,
wow.
Mega Man. Mega Man.
I know.
Mega
I
Man.
see. Yeah. Well, they won't give me any more Mega Man cards, so this is all.
So this guy had the world. Like he had.
Yes.
Mhm.
You can
Literally,
spend face downs from your card pool for EX and powerful. Like
This guy.
He had
this
nonsense.
This guy had fucking commit for 1/1 for every face down in your card pool. Like.
Okay. So
Yeah.
So that would be obviously strong, but the
so
reason
when you give him everything, but
yes,
they have
I-
not done that.
yes,
And instead of giving the Mina static, we're seeing like there's an attack that is -1 difficulty if you have a face down in your card pool.
yeah,
Like,
that's
and
yeah.
then our old
and
Mina
then-
static cards are off symbol, so we can't use.
Are
those
they?
either,
Wait,
right?
wait a minute. Isn't
Acid Screen and Bullet Kick are not on symbol with these guys.
what?
And I think those are the only two.
No, Bebop has water, but I guess Rocksteady doesn't. What symbols is
Bebop have
Rocksteady?
water?
Bebop has Earth Water.
Okay, so Bebop does, but I don't believe Rocksteady.
Does Rocksteady have Earth Void? That's the only way it would work. is if Rocksteady had Earth Void, but I don't know. I don't remember what symbols.
Picture of him.
Yeah,
He's Earth Fire.
Earth Fire. Okay, so Bebop gets to play Acid Screen on water
Yes.
specifically. I guess that's
Pretty,
fine. That's pretty average, in my opinion.
yeah,
that's pretty.
like,
That's pretty average, but okay. Yeah, I guess that's like, yeah. So Bebop gets to play the girl power Mina cards because he has water, but Rocksteady doesn't get to do that.
Yep.
So unless they have some spectacular support for this face down card pool thing, I unfortunately don't see these being great. And that's like, I know these are popular characters, like that it's a little disappointing to me to look at this and see what is like just a pretty like, I guess the way I put it before started recording is we bend over backwards to put a card in our opponent's card pool, and these characters do it to themselves. Like just to use their own effects.
So like, I just think it's really weird that we have these phases where like, good example is AOT, where like all of these cards are like a big amount of these cards are just cranked, and like you immediately have 5 things that jump out to you as like, oh, this is insane. Why did they print this? But we now are getting to different IPs, and these different IPs that are like also popular IPs are coming in with like almost nothing. Like none of these cards are jumping out at anyone to be like, oh yeah, this card's crazy. This card's gonna run the format. Like
Couple
these
exceptions,
cards,
but yeah.
Yeah, which
the rare exception, it's like
Yeah.
literally one card we've seen so far is like, oh yeah, this is nuts.
Yeah.
Which is crazy compared to like AOT where there's like 5 cards every set minimum that are like, oh yeah, this is the good one.
Which I will say also when it's sort of happening. So in their defense, we've really only seen commons and uncommons. So like perhaps the ultra rares and whatever. And I will say for
Yeah.
like for crit roll, I think the commons and uncommons in that set are pretty uninspiring and they're pretty low power and none of them are played at all. Unfortunately. And then we have, the ultra rares that were like game changing, like Aerial Goblin Bolt got the Helvulgin errata, and Sweeping Daggers is no one's been killed for Sweeping Daggers sins yet, but that card is obviously played at a very high rate, and like the air symbol is almost borderline viable on the back of Sweeping Daggers because it's just like Death and Void were obviously already very strong, and then now Air has another like extremely good tool. But maybe when we see
Yeah.
the ultras and secrets in this set, we'll see like, oh, this is like the build around of the symbol identity, which then
Yeah.
makes me wonder why this is the order they're releasing them. So all these cards just don't seem that great. Like,
Yeah, and like the thing that I'm really trying to get across is not like, because like I know you said like sweeping daggers and whatever for Critical Role, but
yeah,
like that's two
two cards.
cards.
No. Yeah,
Like
I'm not saying Critical Role is a
like
powerhouse of a set. I'm just like,
but and
yeah,
I think if they're going to make one IP be a powerhouse of sets, then every IP like if you are going to make the game broken and you are going to print all of these cards that are absurdly strong, keep doing it. Don't like backpedal and then suddenly make a set that's like balanced and well made after you make 3 sets in a row that are just filled with like the most broken things we've seen in the history of this game. Not like UFS, but like UVS,
Yeah.
right?
I think it's weird to like we are probably in the midst of experiencing them trying to like make a shift in how the game like pace wise is played or like power level wise of cards in general. But it's very weird, and like we've brought this up like independent of the podcast a bunch of times where it's kind of like they plan these cards or play these cards and test these cards in like a quote unquote fake format that doesn't exist yet, where all of the older powerful cards that people like are currently playing and with like very little exceptions have no reason to not keep playing moving forward with new cards printed just don't exist, right? We're like, we can't fathom a world where they were fine with X card existing at the same time as another card, but when they were like thinking about it or designing it or testing it, they're like, yeah, those cards will only be legal together for like 5 or 6 months. It doesn't matter. But like for those 5 or 6 months, everyone's initial impression of a set slash characters, because we're all so like in this community very new toy oriented, like if you fumble the first impression on a set or these characters, no one is going to play them again, right? Like very few people look back and be like, I wonder if X character from this past set is playable now with all of these things. And if they do, it's usually like, oh, this card makes this character like actually insane versus like, oh, this card makes this character better, right? We're like 3 or 4 sets from now, we're not going to look at like Mega Mutant and be like, I wonder if we play this in Mega Mutant. We're going to be like, I wonder if we play this in insert whatever IP guy is out. Like, if you drop the ball on the initial impression, I guess is my first like point here. I think that it just kind of ruins it.
Yeah.
and I think for the most part, even the sets that I think have like aged pretty well, I don't think the characters have aged well. Like I think Girl Power at the time of its release was perceived as like a pretty low power set. As time went on, I think a lot of cards from that set have become very good. I think the standout one is Patchwork Baby, right? Like that's a card that like
Yeah.
I think no one played it when Girl Power, like that card was in no one's deck, and then I don't even think it's like because rotation. I think it was just like as things went on, people were like, "Oh, this card is actually like this card's
Yeah,
actually
hold
just
on a
good.
minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this card's actually
Yes,
just like
this
has
is
a
a
lot
good
of
one.
yeah." And they're definitely Heavy Piercing Ice Wall is a card that I think your character kind of put more so on the map, but is definitely good in other characters too, right? And there are other characters that
Yeah.
can play that card, and Double Jumbo Fist made Focus Attack like border, a like kind of a meme card, made it into like an actual like viable strategy. Which granted that was like Kendo's card, and the Kendo kit came out, so I guess that makes sense. But
Yeah.
but we still haven't really revisited like the Girl Power characters, right? Like because
Right,
none of those
exactly.
characters are really good enough, and I think that is kind of like if a character is weak, I truly feel like it's not likely that new support makes that character viable, as you were saying, just because like if your character, if the card that starts the game face up on your table and you can use their abilities every single turn isn't good without outside support, I feel like most of the time you'll just play something that is good without outside support, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And the support would have to be outrageous for you to really revisit it, which
Mhm.
yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know, like when I look at some of these, and as you said, like the Akuma thing, and he had every single tool in the entire world to make face downs in your card pool work. Like, do we think that Bebop will be the anointed one and he will get 15 broken support
Finally,
cards?
yeah.
Like, yeah, I
Finally,
mean,
Bebop control. Yeah.
it is just crazy because like a lot of people, especially the people that play our game, have a tendency of evaluating these characters and stuff in a vacuum, which I think is the worst way you can evaluate any character in this card game, because the cards in your deck matter so much. But on the like same side, other side of the coin, if your character starts off weak, their support will inherently only make them as good as a starting character that is generically strong.
Yeah. I think like the few exceptions that I can think of in terms of like these characters, like should they read good and then their support is what like fails them and they don't see play as a result, is like a handful of people were nervous about, I can't remember which Deku it was, but the one that's just Jackie Briggs, because it's like,
Oh, yeah.
4, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
4.
because it's like people were like, I'm surprised that Deku 4 was not as good or didn't see his play. And then you go, well, yeah, I mean, like, he reads crazy and everyone was afraid of Jackie Briggs, but Jackie Briggs also had like air ground smash
And reversals. Like
and reversals. And like
yeah.
that Deku like has crazy words on him, but like the cards around him are like more often than just played better in other people. Like Rejuve is better in other characters, and I'm pretty sure Repeated $1,000,000 was for that character also.
Yes.
Like,
I mean, I think that character still like at the time of his release showed up a little bit, right? Like I don't
He
think
did.
he was
He got
in the
he got top cut at that
Oh,
nationals.
okay. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but people were freaking out though. People were like, "Oh my god, how did they make this? Like, this
yeah,
is
what
the
are they
end of
doing?
like this
Yeah,
is crazy." And then it was like,
yeah,
we're debating on if it got top cut out of nationals, right? Like
correct. Yeah,
we
Mhm.
can't quite
like
remember.
I think the only like they've done like a good job of like touching characters that are like maybe not necessarily in a timely manner, but they've done a good job of like touching characters that are like, this is probably too good, but like the only characters that people like consistently every single set go back to are like Godzilla characters, because those characters just on face, independent of their support, read crazy. And you go, okay, yeah, cool. So I start with the strongest foundation and then I build around it, versus I start with Bebop and I pray, right? It's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Converse, so I want to play Bebop. Like, I don't know, like what am I supposed to do with that? It's also
Yeah.
like, I mean, I think we talked about it already as well, but like these guys don't have any of the AOT symbols, which is like good for the future because it means that we're gonna have more balance in terms of symbols, but bad because there were 0 earth or water cards in the set
They
with
have
cards that
so
we've
there are
complained about ad nauseum.
2 AOT symbols in this set. There's fire and air,
Fire and air.
but there is
Yeah.
Which
no death, life,
definitely
chaos,
needed
order.
help.
Yeah.
Yeah, fire and air really needed help. I'm happy that we're getting
It
more
is
cards for those.
Yeah,
air. I
especially
think
in a
air. I
4
think is
set, so.
debatable. Air. I think is debatable still. Fire. I still think like it's so funny where like there are there are almost no good fire like 3 symbol cards. Like there are so few of them that are like actually like good.
Mhm.
But the fire attune cards are so
Are
crazy
fucking crazy.
that it's just like playing a main symbol fire is like doesn't. There are very few cases where you would do that, but having fire on your character is just
So
insane.
helpful.
So
Yeah,
just having
it's
another set of just fire attuned cards is just like, all right,
yes.
like I guess
Yeah.
Air's
sure.
kind of in the same boat too, where especially the foundations are pretty lacking.
For
But
who?
like Air.
Yeah,
There have
yeah,
been
yeah.
times where you came to me on Air and you're like, these are the craziest attacks, and then
Oh,
I
the
just
foundations
don't
are
have a
just
foundation I can
terrible.
run.
Yeah.
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 It's also crazy because like I was thinking about it earlier in terms of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reveals, and like I guess this is a way we could segue into other cards too, but like man, were we right about Midoriya. Or like at least
Uh,
I was when I
you
was
yeah,
like,
when you said
hey,
that, I think I was still like not believing. And when you were like, yeah, he has 5 symbols, like eventually he'll just have a million
Good attuned.
cards.
What's that?
And I'm just like
yeah,
I'm like, well, I mean, I guess in my head I was like, surely that's not what will happen, and then here we are, where
And
he
then,
just
Oh,
gets
yeah,
to
it's
play.
like-
He just gets to play a million cards. Yeah.
Because also he gets like the fucking unique position of he has some of the like AOT / hex attuned symbols, and he also has attuned symbols for sets that are not that. And he's printed where like he's not rotating for another like year and a half, so he'll get a year and a half worth of attuned set support, and then just get to use every single part of it.
Yeah.
So, like,
It'll be yeah.
with
It'll be
yeah, with
crazy.
specifically Hang 10, like we've talked about day -28 erratas before, but like I guess we're just waiting to see if we're playing, you know, like
Surf sub
this card is
Deku.
crazy.
Yeah.
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 So surfing Deku, Pog Champ. Yeah.
Jesus.
Pick your symbol, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Deku,
Yeah,
Deku,
literally doesn't matter. Yeah.
Deku and Rodan matchups for the entire tournament. Yippee yip.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, and also the funniest part about that is like in this hyperbole world where it is just Deku versus Rodan, if this card walks as is, then like someone's just gonna win the tournament on not that, because everyone's gonna have just these incredibly inbred decks where my Rodan deck is playing 17 response cancels for your good symbol Deku deck because it has more response cancels for blah blah blah, and someone's just gonna rock up with like an aggro deck and be like, I don't know, man,
And just be like,
die.
Mighty Blitz Porco, you are dead. And
Yeah,
we go,
it's
I
over.
sure
Yeah.
am. Like, yep, you're right.
Whoops.
15
Yeah.
cards in hand.
Yep, I'm at 0. Yep.
Just kill him on 2. Yeah,
Mm.
it's over. Yeah,
Yeah, that's obviously the one that stands out, right? Like that card
It-
feels like
that-
it probably will not end up live as worded. Like it has been pointed
cannot
out
walk.
that Phantom Threat like was errated for essentially the same reason. Like sure you can be like, well, Phantom Threat has flash anyway, why are we giving more instances? Whatever. Obviously, like it's the same thing, right? It's
Yeah.
not draw X, do whatever. Well, it is currently, so
Yes, it
Yes.
cannot walk as current.
Yeah, so
like,
for
there's
those-
just no way.
For
Yeah.
clarification, Phantom Threat, as printed, did not specify if it was. I think it said like if you have played this 5 times, not if this
Yeah.
is the 5th time you've played it. So if you played it a 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, however you would do that, I'm sure there were some ways at the time that people were like, I think this works. Then you would draw a card every single time. So if you could have some sort of like loop going on, you could just draw all your cards. And they routed it so it only draws the card and gets flash specifically on the 5th instance of it activating. Hang 10 does not have that restriction. Sorry, my cat just, it's fine. I don't know. I don't know.
Not edited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. Anyways,
Your cat heard Hang 10 and he activated. It's game time.
Okay. Yeah. So this card, every single time, as long as its speed is 10, once it receives more instances of speed bonus. So if you do a bunch of forms on Deku and then you play it and it gets, 6 forms or whatever, you'll just draw, right? And then
it is
you ready a foundation every time also. So it's like Deku gets half his foundations he spends back, more or less. So
Yep.
Yes.
And every
Yeah.
Defiant stance just means it was free.
yeah.
Correct.
And
It's
on
the,
top
it's
of
Form
as,
was just free.
So on top of all that, there is nothing that interacts favorably with this. Like you can cancel one response, but you can't seal it because all the modifier effects are applied before on play happens. So before on play responses even happen, you draw 5 or whatever. So there is not a single card. If there was a theoretical one that like sealed the next attack they play, you would stop it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Just like
Yeah, as
uninteractable
it-
draw X and ready, whatever.
as it stands, the way that this will function in your Deku deck is you'll draw your hand, you'll go, well, I don't have Phantom Threat. I'll put all of my foundations in a Hang 10, ready my board. Oh, I found Phantom Threat. I mean, oh, did you not answer Hang 10? Oh, you're dead? Okay, well, if you're not a crater, here's a Phantom Threat. Like, I don't know.
Here's a slightly weaker Phantom Threat. Like slightly, yeah, but
Yeah.
it's still gonna be
Hang 10 is literally
Yeah.
just like it's the card in Magic that lets you mulligan a 3rd time. Like,
yeah.
whatever.
Or
It's
not
so
even Phantom
better.
Threat, like Fajin Flurry, right? Like if this if
Yeah.
you commit a modest 3 to 4 forms to hang
Mhm.
10, and then they
Mhm.
have to deal with it, and you readied 4 of the 8 foundations you committed, and then you commit 3 more forms onto Fajin Flurry, like die, I guess.
Now what?
Like I don't
Yeah,
know. That's
it's
pretty
over. Yeah,
good. Like, ugh,
that's the game.
yeah,
This has to
Yeah.
be like the craziest uncommon in recent memory. Like
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
probably.
the
I
fact
Also,
that it's
agree.
just uncommon is like what?
on top of that, like that's just like the biggest winner for Deku, but like Wingnut's warning is also crazy. Like it's just air tuned, like an extra like get destroyed when I block after flashing your attack 'cause it's response speed. Uh you just have like so much shit that he just inherits like on accident. And these are just the like you said, these uncommons, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. I I really like playing Deku. So like I'm happy about it. I'm not thrilled that it's gonna be like so insane. Like, I mean, hopefully Hang Ten gets around it. I don't know. I was a very big proponent of I wanted VME banned, even though it made my character broken. Oops, I suck now, I guess. But
For now.
I don't want Hang Ten to be broken. Yeah, for now, maybe. Smile. Like we'll see. I don't know.
Who knows?
Get
That's
some
part of why
pizza.
I was excited about this. Yeah, pizza. Yeah, Little Caesars Mitchell. It's game time.
$5 out and ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, God willing. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that like I I I'm gonna like tend to agree with Ryan here in that like these are commons and uncommons. They're not very inspiring with the exception of the one that is broken and needs a day negative 48 errata or whatever. But like I think these characters are a little bit lackluster as well, which is the nice way of saying I they kind of suck. But like I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see.
I think a big part of it is the symbol distribution. Like
Yes,
it's
for sure.
when a new AOT character comes out, it might not be the greatest thing, but we like immediately look back to the other sets and go, okay, well there are these cards that work in it. And you can kind of see a picture, but because we're given like a couple things, we have to look back to like Dark Tournament or Jet Burn or something, and
Mhm.
cards were generally slightly weaker than overall, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So we like look back at these cards and we're like, well, this doesn't do anything. Like this is terrible compared to what's out right now. So,
yeah.
Mhm.
hopefully when things come out, they look better, but at the same time, like when the character itself doesn't immediately have anything that like sounds good, it's kind of worrisome from like I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, it doesn't
I don't
spark
know if they
joy.
even care that much if we go into Toronto and it's just Godzilla again. Like I have no idea. But from my perspective, it's like I'd rather see newer stuff. Like things kind of
Correct.
eventually change.
And
Yeah.
like the other part of the issue is a lot of all these characters, they're not like it's not like I'm looking at like Krista from set 1 of AOT and going like, "Oh, well, if this character ever gets a good consistent discard outlet, then she's going to be very strong." Like no, I'm not looking at these characters and going, "Oh, well, if this character gets one card in this specific archetype, then it'll become a very strong meta contender." Because that's just
The
not the case.
entirety of Akuma 2's kit rotates into standard.
Yes.
Rocksteady might be good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Rocksteady can
And
still
also
win, and here's
also
how.
you also for what it's worth, you only said might. Like it's
Yeah.
not even
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
Like
They do an on
guys,
symbol to
he
it or
might
something.
be playable if, yeah. If and only if.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any of these
Uh
characters that we want to talk about in particular, or is it like,
I
Mega
think there is a
Mutant
world.
is
Yeah.
just, I think we said like this is, if you squint, if you adjust your glasses, and it is Giro 1 without I think, as you put it, without the good effect, which is crazy because I would also argue without the good effect, but I know many people who would not argue that rearranging the top of
Yeah.
your deck is the good effect of Giro. But
They've never played
but I
drones.
agree with
With
you.
George
I do
Boys.
think
Yeah.
that's the good
we're
effect.
Rodan gamers here.
Yeah,
We
that
know
is
what the good
the
effect is.
that
Yes,
is the good
yes,
effect.
we
I
know.
do agree with you. Yes, this is Giro 1 without the good effect on worse keyword slash symbol synergy. Well, definitively worse keyword symbol synergy. Like there are
Yes.
so few all in ally or all in evil allies in the game right now. It's gonna be pretty like dependent on what comes out. after, but
This
this could be crazy.
this
Like
is
if you do a lot, if you get to a large string, like 4-4 on your last attack is not nothing. But peak just gives attacks 3-3-3 anyway, right? On every attack. Never mind, this character's not good. It doesn't.
Right.
this one where
Just kidding.
it feels like the design got in the way of the
Sure.
like attuned and blitz and cutting things. Like imagine a world where this was a 3-symbol character
Uh-huh.
and he had the life symbol.
Yeah.
Because there's a bunch of life ally stuff.
Yeah.
There's like Mighty Gathering is blitz plus 2 damage per ally card in your card pool on a 4-diff.
Mm-hmm.
Like he would be cool.
Yeah.
Immediately we're like, oh, he's got all these moves. He has, the support from these sets. And instead, 2-symbol, haha, there's no ally, hope you like hate fish, I guess. Or some Pokemon
Yeah.
5
It
diffs.
doesn't
Like-
even work, man.
That's what you
It
get.
doesn't
Yeah,
even
and
work.
hate fish doesn't even work with him because he's response speed and it's a whole
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, it's
And it's so like he's a mutant. Life symbol. I don't know. It's just like it'd be so easy
Yeah.
to make this like a reasonable character in my mind at least, and we're stuck on this like 2-symbol
Yeah.
attuned thing.
Yeah.
I think that Mikey is like cool. He has air, right? He's like air good.
Air good. Yeah.
Yeah. So he gets to play the Levi 6-diff. God, what is it? The Bad Moon set.
Yeah, but that's debuild on your turn and then debuild on their I guess.
Yeah.
But
I just think he's like selective debuild is pretty strong, and
Yeah.
it obviously it's not the same format and it's not the same like strength of the game, but that was a banned card at one point. Like literally Ever Hopeful was a card that existed and got banned because it was very strong. Like target bounce of foundation is very strong every turn.
Yeah.
But
I think like there is a world where like we are not thinking enough about like quote unquote kitchen table UVS, whatever that actually means. And like Raph is a very cool, fun character where like if you just put all of the discard draw like fire attuned bing bongs in your deck and you just like play basically impulse like off the top of your deck every time, and we're seeing a bunch more like RFG synergy and stuff like that, like he might be kind of neat. You might get to like spin your wheels for fun. Like plus minus 1 speed for every attack in your card pool is like pretty not bad on offense and pretty nothing on defense. So like I don't know. There's stuff there. It's just not like I'm not looking at it from the perspective of I am excited to try and teach my friend who likes Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles why you should even like sleeve this character up. I'm looking at it as I will just not even my eyes will glaze over when I pull this from packs and just move them to the side.
yeah.
Yeah. Raph feels like there is potentially something in this set that makes him pretty annoying, right? Like it's the kind of thing where his second enhance works with like playing attacks from other zones and like not really playing the game normally. And I don't really like what that could lead to. Like
Yes.
currently we can't do anything with the remove attack, but like that's a cheap blitz that we're giving, I don't know, 4 speed and 4 damage to probably. And it's just like this character will feel like it's not going to do anything until it's like extremely annoying, and it feels like there won't really be
Yeah.
an in between. So that's kind of my issue with that character.
For sure.
I definitely I think that they have a lot of like I guess I would say guilty pleasure design spaces that they keep going back to that I think that they should just probably not be touching. So like bing bongs and then like obviously playing stuff from other zones is very dangerous potentially. And like I don't mind that they occasionally experiment with these things, but when it's every single set and it becomes a recurring theme, that's not healthy or good design.
Yeah.
hot take. I've been thinking about something like this for a while, and I think like right now, the game is probably in like a more palatable state than it was previously. Like I think when Nick Reagan was the best deck, it was just pretty like frustrating to play, like in general, honestly.
Yeah, agreed.
I think it's probably better now than it was then, but I've been thinking about what I think the least obtrusive like ban could be, just to like kind of level things out a little bit. And maybe crazy scalding left field hot take. I think it's I'm with you. I think that is a card that if I'm with you is banned. I don't think any decks become unviable, but I think the decks that benefit from I'm with you do it in such like a disingenuous manner
It's like when
that
you went
it
for
just
Wish Heart and not
doesn't,
Feral Shriek.
huh?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm with you is not the issue. I think loss of consciousness is the issue.
Sure.
Loss is extremely high.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
But no, remember when you said that like you think when Pony was extremely strong, you're like, well, they could deal with Wish Hard because the decks running both Wish Hard and Feral Shriek are just dishonest, whereas like the decks running only Feral Shriek aren't really doing anything as crazy. Typically, it's the ones running both. This was
Yeah.
also before Burt 2 was hit. I think
This was before Brit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. And it was also my other reasoning for that was I don't think the secondary market should like okay, to say the secondary market shouldn't be a consideration, I think is pretty disingenuous as well. Like because if you ban a card that everyone spent a lot of money on, then obviously everyone is mad because they spent money on cards. For stuff like Risky Encounter, like you have to, right? Like that card being $25
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Like the game was cooked. Like we had to get rid of it. When I'm looking at something like Feral Shriek and Wish Hard, and I go, okay, I think if you have both of these in your deck is probably doing something crazy. But I think having one of these effects in the game is probably okay. And if Feral Shriek at the time was $20, Wish Hard was $1. Now that's not the case. Now I think Wish Hard's also expensive. I did just think like, well, if you think these discard turbo decks are too crazy, I think you just ban the one that's $1. And I know that doesn't like, you know, sure, man, like that's probably fine, right? Like, and similarly, sure, maybe it is loss of conscience. Like maybe loss of conscience is the one, not I'm with you. Now that I think about it more, you are right. That's probably the more like insane one. Sure, like I just think we're at the point where there are too many of these effects and it's too profitable to just be doing these random things. Which even though combined firepower is got like first we banned Twisting Azure and Risky Encounter, then we banned combined firepower, and it's like these cards are still being played because they're still very, very, very strong. Like these destruction mill synergy cards are still so good that like
Yeah.
one of them
Yeah.
probably should go. And now that you mentioned, yes, loss of conscience probably I hate that card more than I hate I'm with you. I will just say that I've had a card in my deck for the last year and a half that says loss of conscience has no text. So it probably didn't affect me to the level it affected other individuals. But, you know, when my stage is new number 1, number 2 pro hero, loss of conscience
you are
is the blankest
a
card
pro
of all
hero.
time. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also have to be a pro hero.
That's true. Yes, you also have to be a pro. You're right. Yes, like you have to be a pro hero
Gotta
for
be on
both those
Hawks.
effects. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Like that is the blankest card of all time. But yes, when you're playing any other deck in the entire game, I am yes. Lots of Conjures is a very frustrating card.
Yeah. It's like, a deck like Porco, like Driven to Retribution is great into that character, and then they play their first attack and mill loss and seal it. And
You're just like, okay.
why did I side this?
Yeah.
Like,
You're like,
Yep.
you're like, I put a 3 diff into my deck that is just going to do nothing.
yeah.
I love blank
Yeah.
3 diffs.
Yeah, it's also
That's
the annoying part about Porco with that card is like you have no agency literally at all, even before the enhanced step, because they can blitz discard it for football and like go pick up a football, and the first thing that they do before their attack lands and they get to press any button.
Is
by
Jaw
football, he
Titan
means
is
Jaw
Jaw
Titan's
Titan's
Bite.
bite football? Is that what you
He's
just
been
said?
calling it
It
football.
looks like
Okay.
it looks like a football.
Okay, fair enough, I guess.
I did
Porco
not
getting
start that.
demolished, the ultra rare.
Yeah, I did not start that one.
Okay.
Someone across from me called it football, and I passed the vibe check. I didn't
I see.
ask a
Yeah.
question.
Yep.
They
you
said
went-
I'm gonna play football, and I went, yep.
Checks out.
And I didn't ask when. I didn't ask. It's kind of cold out. I just said no. Yeah, that's fine. Like
Okay.
football. Yep, that walks.
Fair enough.
Understood. Yes, chef. Like, got it. But yeah, no, I think that like a lot of the problems that we see and like the things that we're just like irritated about with design that we don't voice in like the best ways is just redundancy being too good and like too many of a specific type of effect that's like already a bit of a pain point, just like over and over and over again, becomes a problem with attuned because you can just put that in literally everything, right? Like these cards are just raw good. They keep printing more like effects adjacent to these things and they are attuned. So if there's any character or like symbol that can take advantage of those in combination, then it's just a matter of like shoving all of these into your deck and finding the most irritating way to play them all. And it's just like caused a bunch of different things around them to get hit, but the like problem itself isn't addressed.
Yeah. So like a good example would be in specifically Magic. They print an effect like Narcomoeba, like Icarid, like those kind of things that are like the bing bongs that we have in our game. They print those probably one every 5 sets, or like 1 or 2 every 5 or 6 sets that release, because they know that if they ever have a critical mass of them in standard, it will ruin the game and it will make things infinitely more unfun for everyone that plays.
Yeah. It is like, I don't know. We talk about critical mass a lot, and like I I think we reached it a while ago, but also like the format keeps changing and like new things to look at or like new ways to interact with them keep coming out. But it is also just like fatiguing to have to answer that question with every deck that you play. Like, what do I do if this happens because this character mills whatever? Or like every single one of your decision lines, it's like annoying to not have something that you can plan for, because like your plan for your opponent milling your loss of consciousness is just getting to go to lunch early, I guess, or like getting an extra hour on your lunch round. And like you can plan for, if my opponent has this, I can like check their discard pile and see if they've done yada yada, or like if they have like this in like open deck list formats, I can plan around it because I can try to play this string or whatever. But like you can't plan for your opponent milling well.
It is crazy to think that AOT1 had I'm With You, Loss of Consciousness, Feral Shriek, Wish Hard, Aaron's Trial, and Risky Encounter. Just like all in the same, just all in one box. Like,
Yep.
not 2 sets later or anything. Nope, they're just all together.
And Mikasa's admission, unless that was AOT2.
And Mikasa's admission was also AOT1.
That was AOT1?
Yep.
And then in set 2, we got the Reiner card, right? The like when it's sacked or discarded.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
a fair one.
Yeah.
That one has to be face up in your stage.
Yeah.
That one's
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
That one is okay. Yes. Yeah, we like that one.
Or discarded.
Yeah,
Or
we're
discarded.
okay with that.
Yeah.
Discard is also okay. I also think discard is more reasonable than enters your discard pile. Like that's
Yeah.
at least like.
And then we also had the Smiling Titan card, the 2/5 that flips something.
Yeah.
So like there were just
Smiling Death when it's destroyed.
Yeah, infinite of that kind of effect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A big backbone of that also, what we're seeing now is like the death stuff from Yu in particular, like Weapon Clash and Enormous Axe, are really carrying a lot of weight right now, particularly because of Peak. But it's like all of these things are sort of combining together, and I think if you were to deal with it, what I would expect to happen is they just go back to the beginning and go, well, Weapon Clash is the issue, we'll just deal with this, and then like
I don't think that's true. I don't think Weapon Clash is the issue at all. But
no,
sure,
I don't either.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that like that
Is
seems to
theoretically-
it
that
seems
might
to
be
be like they
circular
start
logic,
further
yeah.
back and then like
Sure.
move forward.
Yeah, I mean,
which-
I do think Immortal Shapeshifter was a problem. I will say, I do think
yes.
that card
Oh,
needed to go.
yes.
That's one that
Dude, you were the first Immortal Shapeshifter.
You were
hater.
preaching from
Literally
the rooftops
the-
about Immortal in September.
Yeah.
I played
Yes,
one
I-
game of Irwin with Immortal Shapeshifter in my deck, and I said this isn't okay. And then
You said this cannot be.
this cannot be.
You ran into the town square ringing a bell with a sign strapped to your chest, and everyone called you a madman.
They did call me a madman. That is true. I did. That was. I felt vindicated when I opened the ban list and Immortal Shapeshifter was banned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That card, there's no universe where that card would have been okay with Peak existing.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. Peak
I
would
am
have. Peak would
so
have
glad.
78 health. Peak
Yeah,
would
Life
never.
totals are fictitious. Why even pull out a fucking pad at the start of the round?
Yeah.
What are you
-2,
Doesn't
respond
fucking matter.
greater goal, gain a life, flip another -2. Like
Yeah, plus L, plus ratio, plus gain 1, plus make a check, plus respond remove, plus no, it's over.
Yep.
Yeah,
check your loss of consciousness, seal your offensive
Oh
formation.
god.
yeah.
Yeah.
The closer the amount of those effects are to just like all being legal, the closer we are to retro, and that's like retro is a fun city to visit, but I would not want to live there.
It is.
It's a
Albuquerque, New
nice
Mexico.
tourist town. Well, I don't think Albuquerque was nice to
Twice, I
visit
hope you ordered that
either.
burrito to go. Yeah.
I don't think Albuquerque was a good place to visit, regardless of. But it's
No,
okay.
it was not. But that's okay.
Well, it's weird though because at the same time, like we have these little like power spikes. Like I would say things like airship, like maybe the reversals aren't that impactful. Like we'll get into predictions in a bit here, but
Mhm.
I do feel like the ability to reversal your opponent multiple times is like retro plus plus territory, right? Like that's not
Yeah.
something you can normally do. So like we have
Yes.
things that just get like randomly insane. This is kind of lately.
We've never seen this before. Yeah.
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 Like
So like
falling titans, lightning kick, or just these things like how many times does this attack hit me? Yes. Just the
Yeah.
answer is yes.
Yes.
the
Yep.
the issue with I've come around on the reversals a lot,
Yeah.
and I think the issue right now, at least, is those cards are the level of fucked up that we think they are in a slower format. But we are not in a slower format. We are in a very efficient, very fast format where if you reversal your opponent on their turn, there is a very real chance you just explode because you used a card and resources to play that card.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very strange, like for me specifically, because I'm close friends with Phil and talk to him a lot. And Phil's stance on reversals, period, have been reversals have always sucked unless they're broken. Then they're not actually broken. It's just that card is insane. And I'm like, why? And he goes, why would you put an extra card and make a check in your card pool on your opponent's kill turn? And I was like, that's fair. And then I like stopped thinking about it and then was like, no, but these reversals were broken. So he's probably just like, you know, he's probably just being Phil. It's fine. And then when we're like prepping for Louisville and I'm practicing against Travis and he wants me to take my turn at the slot machine and pilot Porco, uh, it's just like, okay, yeah, no, Travis put this card in his card pool and I played enough attacks that maybe if he was playing on one less progressive and didn't check a 3 on his reversal, he could have blocked the one that killed him, and then he didn't. So like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like these will be a problem in the future, I believe. But like here we are currently where it's fine. So then everyone can stand back and be like, "No, see, it's fine. You guys were just doomering about nothing." And it's like, well, simmer on that, I guess.
I also think part of it is the symbol distribution they're on. One of them is not on AOT symbols. The characters that interact with them don't particularly do anything that crazy. Like there's exactly one character that's like stunning on your turn. And then Rodan, as you said, is like already fairly fragile in the sense that like if you don't have the right block zones or tools in your stage to live, you're just gonna get two tapped currently, like two or
Mhm.
three shot. Because everything's for like 7 to 12 damage depending on who's doing what in what
Yeah.
character. Um, so it's like a mix of those things that mean that it's probably not the greatest thing to do in Rodan unless someone finds the secret combination, like we have a few weeks to
Yes.
test here. It's possible. I don't think we're gonna find it, but I I do think that the idea of attacking your opponent like 4 times because they put an orange card in their card pool is crazy. Like that to
Yeah.
me is still wild. And it's just waiting for a character to come out to abuse that, I guess, because I guess we don't have the right answer to that currently.
Hmm.
I don't know. We'll see. Right.
Yeah. We'll put a pin in it, and
Yeah.
later when
When
we are
someone
mad
else
about
breaks it, be like, see, we were
yeah
right. Reversals are crazy.
yeah when we're mad about Glup Shido from XIP reversaling us 4 times for free, we can be like, see, we told you.
Rodan 2.
Yeah.
Ran to electric boogaloo.
Mm-hmm.
Do we
Yeah,
want to go to
I could see
predictions
that being
for
the case.
the regional at
Yeah,
this point? Yeah.
I was gonna say Louisville prep for me has been kind of weird insofar as like I knew what I wanted to play. Then Shadowverse came out, and I stopped thinking about anything universes for like 3 weeks. Then I was like, cool, I know what I want to play. Now we just pick up from here. Then I really didn't know what I wanted to play. And now I still don't know what I want to play, but I've played everything else in the format into people. So like, yeah. I am I am still unsure as of the day of recording, which we're not gonna say so that we can lie. Uh as of the day of recording, I still don't know what I want to play.
Yep.
Sure.
Same boat.
Yeah.
Well, Mitch, your mistake. We've timestamped this by talking about Mega Mutant, so they
Ah,
know. it is at
Damn it.
least Sunday.
Yeah.
July 6th.
Our plans have been foiled.
Yeah.
Whoops. No narcs.
Yeah. I don't know. I have not really enjoyed this format that much, and I think that's kind of gotten in the way as well of like
Mhm.
getting back to the game after also taking a break on Shadowverse for a few weeks.
Mhm.
But it does feel like it's a couple AOT 3 decks and then the usual like suspects.
Suspects,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm still unsure what I'm playing as well. But I'm at least playing games now. I'm not just
Yes,
playing
yeah.
Shadowverse. So
We've
that is
got that
progress,
going
right?
for us. Yes.
Yeah.
That is progress.
Yeah, I have no idea. I've been playing Peak at locals, and I have changed my attack lineup every week. I go, I'm gonna play 10 different attacks from last week, and eventually figure out which ones I think are actually good. And my deck has just gotten worse every week, and I don't know what to make of it. So at this point, I don't know. Like every
what
week,
does this
every
possibly
week
mean?
I go,
Yeah.
I think my deck is worse than last week, but I'm not sure. I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, how did we get here?
Yeah. But it's
you may
okay.
find yourself with a series of unplayable 4 diffs.
You might.
And you may find yourself
That's
playing on runner 6s. And you may ask yourself, how did I get here?
Very easily.
Days go by. Yeah, you know how it is.
Are we a psycho if we try and have you play Irwin?
I don't think so. I
So-
like Irwin. I still
Phil
like
played
playing
Irwin.
Irwin more than Peak, but I don't.
Yeah, Phil played Irwin today at locals and said, dude, why do people play Peak over Irwin? And then I was like, this, that, and the other thing, regurgitated like wub thing. And then he went, I don't know, man, he's just fucking cool. And I'm
No,
like,
no. So no, I
Yeah.
agree with that. Like I like playing Irwin more than I like playing Peak, but I do think at this point Peak is probably better. But I do think it is closer than people think. Like I do not think
Yeah.
Peak is a strictly better in all situations Irwin. I
Oh,
do
no,
think that
definitely.
there
asset
are
is extremely good.
the asset.
The
Oh
asset
yeah,
is
the
good.
asset is very strong. Obviously, like that's an incredible tool that she basically just gets an extra character ability. Like us, like it is kind of wild actually that card exists, but.
And she definitely can kill people compared to Irwin, who it's a little more tenuous.
Yes.
Right?
Well, also, I will say, in hindsight, God, my Irwin decks were unplayably bad. The ones that I kept complaining, I'm like, damn, I played 9 attacks, my opponent took 14 damage, and I look at my,
Yes.
I look at my
4/3.
card pool. My card pool is execute order is Colossus SWAT, execute orders, signal shot, and I'm like, why did my opponent die? And it's like, well, maybe
Yeah,
if you
what have I
put
done wrong?
maybe if you put playable cards in your deck, your opponent would die. But you know, it's
Yeah.
probably fine. Like, it's probably okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
It is. Where did I go wrong? Well,
Yeah.
about 35 minutes ago at the deck building screen is where you
It's
went
literally-
wrong.
It's literally the bell curve meme where like I started quote unquote this format being like, no matter what, since I keep not doing it, I'm going to play Deku at this event. And then halfway through at the top of the bell curve, I go, dude, I'm a genius. Wub is so smart. What if I just play on the front side against these characters? And then I go back to the other end of the bell curve and I'm like, man, whatever, fuck it. I'll just flash an attack.
I mean, you're due to
Totally.
play Deku for an event. So,
I have to play him eventually, right? Like
Yeah.
I must. There's
Just
no
wait
reason.
until Turtles. They won't hit
mean-
Hang 10. Everything will be fine. You will become the Deku
Last
you
chance
were
to
always
look at
meant to
me.
be.
Yeah, last chance to look at me, Hector. Yeah, no, it's
We're
I
solid.
don't think so. There's like they must know. Like it can't be as printed. They cannot
You know,
possibly want that.
I
You know
say
how
that
funny this
all
will
the
be
time.
if it's just not good and we're here like crashing out in July.
I will make it good, dude. I swear.
It will be.
It does seem insane. For
I'm
sure.
like we can't all collectively be awful at the game, right? Like we all read the same card and go, yeah, no,
Yeah.
this is insane. And I show you and you go, yeah, no, this is insane. And then you show Ryan and then Ryan shows Travis and we're all like, no, this is insane. We cannot all be in the room with the briefcase and be wrong, right? Like it's like there's no way, right? Like
I'm trying to think when
the
we were-
briefcase is empty and the money is in Sean's pocket.
Yeah,
So-
finally.
So not all of us, but Ryan, we definitely thought Double Jumbo Fist was atrocious.
Oh my god, I thought that was the
when
worst
Girl
card
Power
ever.
came out.
I thought I read
Yeah.
that card and I was like, why would you ever put this card in your deck? Little did I know.
Yeah.
And then we
Why
just
would it ever come out of my
top
deck?
4
Why would
events
it-
or something with
No, that's dude. That's why I'm saying
Uh.
it's like we're like the fates. Every one of us has the gift of prophecy per set. Like one of us has to be right about the future, but we
Yeah.
all collectively agree on this, and I can't imagine all of us being wrong, right?
Yeah. No, that one's definitely messed up.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, I guess all of that really to say, haha, we've prepped for Louisville. Smile.
I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was moving
I
last
know,
like
yeah.
I've been moving for the last like I feel like it's been for the last month, but I guess technically it's only been
Yeah.
like 2 weeks. But I'm finally have everything moved in, and I have played 0 games other than
You've gone to
Third.
locals with Peak.
I've gone to locals
That's
with
progress.
Peak twice in the last 6 weeks, and that no 3
Ooh.
times in the last 6 weeks. Yeah, so you know,
Ryan
You know
gets
what
the
moved
Street
in
Fighter
and I
cards
start
do.
moving out. It's
Yeah.
just
Oh,
we're
yeah.
cycling.
yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
If,
Ryan's going to Yu-Gi-Oh! Nats this week, so
yeah.
that's true.
Oh my
If
goodness.
by the time this if you're listening to this podcast after Louisville and Ryan has topped with Hawks,
Just know that wasn't part of the plan.
Yeah, that was not. Yeah, if you are listening to this podcast after Louisville and Ryan registered Hawks and did not top, please tell the venue at the next event that he has packed some sort of contraband and they will not allow him in. But
for legal reasons, this is a joke, etc.
Yeah.
For legal reasons, this is a joke, but for his own good, it might not be.
No, he gets
Yeah.
3 events left to play Hawks. He should just play Hawks. That is
That's
my
fair.
stance.
That's you know what? Yeah, when Ryan top cuts with Hawks,
Mhm.
I will be happy for him.
Unfortunately, we've gotten to the point where everyone's complaining about Porco so much, like the hamster wheel of my brain has just been like, well, if I absorbed energy spirit strike Porco's attacks, then
Oh, God.
then he can't kill
It
me.
was
character.
a joke at first.
Yeah, I was like, that he can't kill me.
And then
So
it became real, too real.
yeah.
Yeah, the God, what to be Calvin Tahan and to know what I'm playing at every event.
How can
5
he
months
not?
ahead of time. Yeah.
Yes.
City
Yeah.
Rampage.
City Rampage.
Ah.
He XD.
Uh,
I mean, hey, you
Um,
could do that if you wanted.
Wait,
Yeah,
I could
you
just
know
play
what?
Peak and play Absorb Energy Spirit Strike.
You
You
could.
sure can.
Or Irwin.
dude,
You lose some good death cards, but you can.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
POV, you've perfected the ooze. Anyway. Honestly, it feels like we're kind of spinning our wheels here. I guess that's
Yeah.
been all for episode 6 of Werewub. Look forward to those reveals if you're, still here this deep into our rambling. Have a good event at Louisville. If you see us there, I'm down to say hi and chop it up with whoever. I don't have very many copies of my character left, so please don't ask. And yeah, that's all from us, I think.
Yeah. That is all from us. All right. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.